Hello, my fellow pool metaphors that have gone off the deep end. I'm Mr. Church. Today we're going to be building in right here, south of Bleeding Kate's Grindhouse, north of the Pleasant Hills Cemetery, right here in between these locations. You'll find this spot here which has a truck in the sky. Yes, that is correct. It's a pickup truck in the sky, and there's dirt up there as well, and grass, and a lootable chest. I originally found this location because my friend was vendor hopping, and someone had a camp up here, and so I went to check it out. I didn't get their name, and they left the server, so I don't know who actually found this. I don't think it's been in the game forever because I think people would have seen it by now. So it's a new feature. This floating camp. But it comes with a lootable chest, and then we have dirt, which appears to be ash heap dirt. We're kind of in the middle ground between where the two biomes change over from forest to ash heap. And I'm just going to place this camp down here. Now, for obvious reasons, you're probably going to want to be on a character that has a jetpack, so that if you fall off, you can get back on, so that you can get up here to begin with, and when you load in, you might not be up here either, but this is just a weird thing. It's a truck, and it's got a spotlight, and this is actual ground. We can place foundations and crops and stuff in it, and I like to build in the back of the truck as well, because then we can go into free cam mode, and we just chill here. So I'm going to start off by forgetting I thought I was in free cam mode. Well, now I am. And we're just going to lay out the floor plan here. Now, the idea is I want this to look like, we're going to make a curio shop, and the idea is I want it to look like the curio shop and the parking lot in front of it maybe were kind of scraped off the ground and then floating by some mystical powers. So I don't want it to look like a camp that is in the air stupidly. So, I mean, it's stupid, but it's going to have some internal logic that's going to make it make sense to me at least. So it's not going to, I don't want foundations to be hanging down from the bottom. I want the bottom of everything to be at the same level as the bottom of the dirt in the truck. So we're going to make a roof as the floor for the camp, but we're going to have foundations for while we're building it. And interestingly, you can actually build roofs into foundations and foundations into roofs as long as you don't have anything built on top of them. So you can just have them both here. We're going to be using the... You can actually do it either way. You can place foundations in roofs. It's fine, as long as there's nothing built on top. So we're going to have both to begin with. If you need to delete a roof, you have to change it, and then you can get rid of it. Otherwise, it's going to be locked up because the roof doesn't have any walls and foundations underneath holding it up. So we're going to make a temporary foundations. These are going to allow us to build much easier, and then when we're done, we'll just delete all the foundations out from underneath it and leave the roofs there. We're going to be making the bottom floor have sunken in walls a little bit, which will allow us some differentiation in the texture of the build and the shape of the build, so that there can be like a uniqueness to it. In order to do this, we're going to have to use catwalks to get them a quarter of a floor away from the outside of the wall. And I'm using this rug here. Normally, if you're using catwalks to place walls down on top of a foundation, you need a carpet or something underneath that. But I found out later while I was building this that you actually don't need the carpet in this particular case, and I think the roof is acting as the carpet in that case. So you don't need the carpet there. I just had it there because I didn't realize that yet. I didn't even try it without it. But what we're doing here is the corners where the walls meet up are going to intersect quite a bit. That's how this is going to function. And because of that, we're going to need to use half walls for where they intersect. You can't intersect two full walls together because the collision will not allow you to. But if you have two half walls, when they're burned, you can 100% intersect those walls on the edges because of how the broken texture of the half wall looks. So we're going to get rid of that, and what I've done is I've put the half walls there. All the other sides where there's not half walls is where we want either doorways or windows to be, so those have to be full walls. I hope this is making sense to you. I know it's a lot of nerdiness for you to be listening to at this hour, so if there's anything that I can do to take the edge off, like maybe we can dumb it down a little bit. Also, if your inventory, or I mean your build menu is lagging out, if you leave build menu and go back into it, that usually fixes it. It's really quite annoying, and it's one of my favorite features of the game, actually, and I'm hoping they keep that in, because without lag, where would we be? Besides, you know, the place we were trying to fast travel to. So you're going to obviously take a flame trap and going around and burn all these half walls. That should bring you joy. And then we'll put in the full walls, which I hope the thing that I was going on about will make more sense now once we're putting in the full walls. So the full walls you're going to have as well be sunken in half or a quarter of a wall. And they should just go right in. And we'll just be putting... See, I didn't realize the carpet. Again, when you're building this, you don't need that carpet in there. It should work without it. But I didn't realize that yet. You know, I'm a fallible human being and sometimes make mistakes. And unfortunately, that is, you know, just not okay. That's not okay. But here we have, let's put, that's good. That'll be okay there. And let's take care of, well, we can just move this over here. And I'm going to be putting another full wall in the front so that we can have a window on the front of the shop. So the design of this build is going to be some curio shop. I'm going to be using some items from the scoreboard. And there's going to be a living area on the top floor. And then I'm going to try something neat for the roof that I figured out with some of the abandoned mine shaft ramps. So I'm excited to do that, but you're just going to continue working your way around, and you're going to put this stuff on the outside edge, use the catwalks to go over by a quarter, and then an elbow shape one to get that full wall in. I believe that's where I realized you didn't need the rug, and I was blown away by it. You know, it really changed my life for the better. It doesn't take too much, to be honest, and then we will see. Well, hold on. Okay, that's good. Let's put this down like so. Now, I'm going to leave this one here because this one we're going to use to put the roof here. And this roof is going to be the upstairs floor. Now, you can use actual upper floors here, but that will require using stairs to get them up there. I didn't want to do that, and I feel like these are a lot more forgiving, and later on I was glad that I chose to do roofs here instead of upper floors. So the way to get them in is we have to start off with peaked ones, and then we can fold them down to flat ones. This will allow us to get it over the merged walls, and then I can repair everything, and you'll see how the walls look, and we can just fold these down. And I hope that the explanation I gave now makes sense, now that you can see the walls, how they're intersecting at the corners. You need each place where they intersect, one of those sides has to be two double half walls, otherwise it will not intersect like that. Now to get the upper walls in, we're going to come up from the side over here, and this is why we have those foundations underneath the build. This makes everything so much easier. Everything can be snapped perfectly in. We don't have to worry about trying to eyeball walls in with blueprints or something. We can just do it like this. I do recommend getting the catwalks if you don't have them. It doesn't matter if you get the alien ones or the plain ones. They are one of the most helpful building tools that you can use in the game. Obviously, the developers don't know that yet, and it was unintentional. But they open up the door for a lot of possibilities, and I think it would be really interesting if the people that made this game played it, maybe once a week, and tried out building and someone that, you know, was familiar with it could tell them, like, the things people do and how we use things, so that they can stop making it more difficult for us on accident, because they don't know what's going on. I think that would be nice. I don't remember what it's called. I accidentally placed this wall down because they will snap to the walls underneath it. And I wanted to include this to show you. If you try to remove it, it will say you can't because it has no support. That's because these walls down there they're not actually snapped to the foundation, so they're floating and they're locked up. This is easily cured by just burning the half wall that's underneath it. If it's a full wall underneath it, just turn that full wall into a doorway, and that should solve the issues that you're having. Well, only the issues in-game. I can't speak for your marital life at all, but hopefully that stuff clears up too. And I don't recommend using a flamethrower trap on that, although sometimes certain things can be fixed in that way, but I'm no counselor or therapist, luckily for everyone in the world. Now, we're just going to be snapping this in. I almost did it again, but luckily, I keep saying luckily, and that's good. It's so good. I was thinking instead next time, so that I stop stuttering and stammering, what I would do is I would just write a script. And here it is. I started off. I even have some jokes I wrote down that'll really be so funny when I tell them. And this is the first one ready. Why did no, wait, what is that? Okay, anyway, I don't really want to so let's just move on. We're going to do an upper floor up here. And now we're going to make, okay, so I put this down here. We're going to have a peak made out of stairs. And you'll understand as we continue, but I'm going to put this thing in the middle. The room divider is going to be kind of a measurement, because I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to fill this area here from this corner all the way up to this corner with junk. I'm going to pile it up, and I'm going to do it on both sides, and I'm going to have it up in the middle, and the room divider will help me see that. That's going to be the end cap for when we have the stairs as the roof piece that'll fill in that hole, and this kind of helps me do that, because we can't put that stuff in after the stairs are in. So this is what I mean. The room divider kind of helped me eyeball that stuff in so it's at the right height. And some of the stuff, I'll switch that out. That's a little too bulky. Because you don't want it, like, pushing through the stairs, but you also don't want it to be, like, not enough stuff. And once the stairs are in, putting anything in there is going to be impossible or just kind of difficult, which in my life, those two words are synonyms. And anytime anything's difficult at all, I just don't do it. So, in here, I want to have, like, someone was sleeping up in the crawl space or whatever, and maybe they're trying to finish writing their poetry thing that they were working on. And so I want to build that now, because everything that you want in the crawl space you want to put in there now before we put the roof on, the actual roof on, because that's made out of stairs, and you can't build under stairs without so much difficulty. I hope that I have stressed that enough by saying it 14 times. Now for the fun part, we're going to take these roofs and we're going to flip them up so that we're able to burn them easier. Now, once we burn them, everything that we built up here is going to also disappear into the ether because the thing it's built on is destroyed. So it doesn't exist anymore in the game except as a memory and a huge chunk of your build budget. So you're going to destroy it, and once this is destroyed, we'll be able to slap in our stairs. Now, so you're going to build a little foundation over here, go up by one full wall, and then you're going to take catwalks and do this little squiggle thing off to the side here, like this. And then you're going to place a wall on that. And I recommend don't use this shack wall, use one of the flat walls. So I changed that out to a flatter wall. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over to the side. And again, you could have done the squiggle to the left instead of to the right. And then you wouldn't have had to elbow over. But I was originally going to start in the middle, and I decided to start on the end. I thought it would be a little more intuitive, but now that I'm looking at it, it just seems like a mess. Don't worry about it. That'll snap right in, and then, of course, you can delete the catwalks, and I'm going to flip these up and destroy those as well. And I also want to make a big note right here. If you're doing this, be very careful that you don't snap 2 stairs together or upper floors to those stairs, because they'll be locked up there, and that's it. It's over. Start over. Now you can delete everything once you got 1 stair in, and we're going to use catwalks and go off the stairs that are in to just go over. You're going to loop it and then go right up to the edge. Now, the end pieces on the walls are going to go in fine, but you'll find that the ones that are directly in the middle of the wall don't snap in because they're intersecting with the wall underneath it. To solve this problem, I switched these to the log walls, and then I just destroyed them so much. A little bit more than I like to destroy my own life on a daily basis with my decisions that I make and the ones that I choose to not make, which, by the way, is still making a decision, and it's still affecting my life in a miserable way. Speaking of misery, for those of you who don't know, I stream on Twitch, and I will link that in the description. If you're not following me over there, I do stream random games. Lately, I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online and have gotten addicted to it, and that's pretty fun. If you want to watch it, come hang out and talk about popsicles and stuff like that. I don't know why you would want to talk about popsicles. I have been pretty confused by your infatuation with popsicles, to be honest, but give me a follow over there and jump in the Discord, also in the description, if you want to see when I go live or when I post a new video, or you can hit that bell notification, which will also tell you when I post a new video. That's assuming that you're subscribed here on YouTube, and if you're not, well, I can understand that, to be honest. Let's be fair, but you know, you could subscribe if you wanted to, but again, I'm not really going to, you know, make you feel bad about it if you haven't. If you've chosen not to, I understand that you're exercising free will, which is one of my favorite passive abilities that we've been able to unlock over time. Now, I could have cut this out completely because I'm pretty sure you've got the gist of it by now, but I wanted to include it because it is a very important part of this design. And if you want to skip ahead to when I'm done with the roof, well, I'm not going to cry about it. And if I did cry about it, I would already be so busy crying about the rest of my life and the way that it's in shambles that I wouldn't really notice the extra tears that came flowing out. And I'll be sure to hydrate while I'm sobbing and weeping uncontrollably so that I don't, you know, die of dehydration. So anyway, that's how you do it. You're just going to use normal stairs. Doesn't that look so good? Why didn't anyone do this before? I actually think someone probably has built with stairs before as roofs, but I haven't seen anyone use these ramp stairs before. So this will be exciting to see how that looks. But first, you're going to repair all the stuff that's been broken, and you're going to replace these with flat pieces. And obviously, you could just go over to your camp box, which I'm literally standing next to, and hit repair all. But I didn't want to do that because that would actually have been easier, and it would have, you know, caused me less pain. Now, if you're playing Fallout 76, I think you'll realize that it is a form of self-harm, and there is no reason that I would choose to not do that when I had an ability to make it take longer and waste my time. But we can get rid of that on the side there, and now let's see how our roofs look. Let's replace them with the abandoned mine ramp, and we'll see that because they're so fat and chonky, thick with 3 C's, etc., that when we replace them, they're flush up against each other in a way that you would not be able to really place them. And this is why the replace option in this game is so good. And again, the developers have no idea how important it is, and that's why they sometimes put stuff in a separate category, unreplaceable, like the doors and stuff like that, and we just get angry. I'm going to switch these out to the corrugated roofs. to kind of give it a rougher look up here, because this is kind of outside or whatever. Now on the front here, I'm going to use this vine blueprint, which I got from Vapid Valentine. I'm going to link her video as well. You should check it out. And now, after seeing her blueprint, I made one that can be placed directly on walls, but I hadn't invented that yet when I made this part of the build. But her blueprint worked perfectly. I just put a little roof there for the platform of it, and then got rid of it after. But I will include a link to my blueprint video if you want to see the one that I made to slap on walls. But I also want to add, even if you know how to do the blueprint for the vines, that you should check out Vapid Valentine's video, because it's an incredible build that she made. And I think she's one of the best builders in the game that I've seen, and it's one of her best builds. So it's worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. And maybe give her a sub over there as well on her channel. And let's get back to the build. That was way too much nice, and I used up my nice account, so let's get back to being nasty. So the people, yeah, I think what I want to, yeah, nasty. So the people that make the game now, the developers that are working on it now, they do seem to at least give one single fuck about the game, which is different than how it felt for the years leading up to it. So that is a nice change to see. I simply hope that they give one iota of a shit about listening to the camp community feedback before they make egregious changes and make decisions that have no merit or make no sense. Now, over here is a weird thing that we gotta do. You'll notice that if you try to put a door in here, it'll be red. And that's partially because this roof is sticking up a little bit, because we had to start off with a slanted roof. And when you flatten a slanted roof, it's slightly higher up than a normal flat roof. So that's intersecting. But we can't just destroy the roof and place in the roof, because it also needs support. And what that means is it needs to have a roof or a foundation underneath the door, either on the inside or the outside of the door. So we have to do two things. We have to destroy that roof that's in there, because it's going to be intersecting, and we have to give it a foundation of support using other roofs that are flatter. So we made a temporary wall here, and you're just going to slap on a flat roof here. It'll go right through this broken, what is that called? What are those things called? Scaffolding. And that's still intersecting. Then we can place this and destroy that roof. You can obviously do this before you build the scaffolding, but I hadn't even realized it was an issue when I put the scaffolding in, and I thought it was easier to just burn that than to rebuild all that stuff. So be careful when you are removing that stuff. Now you should be able to place the door in there, and again, most doors you can replace to the one you want. So just put anyone in there, and you should be able to get the one you want later if you change your mind on which one you want. And they should go either way, and that should be fun and good and nice. So once that's in, you can just delete the roofs and delete the wall, and you should be able to repair the roof here and then replace it back to a flat roof. And I want to offer my deepest condolences for once again saying the incorrect word. I know that it makes some people very upset. So this blueprint I made on the side here is, I use these wall chunkies from the Helvetia set. I blueprinted them in a line and slapped them on the edge, and they made a little bit of an eaves. If you don't want to use those because you think they look dumb, don't. I couldn't decide if they look dumb or not. That's why they're there. Now I'm trying to push my way through the underbrush to look at the house. God damn it. And it's pretty annoying to try to do that. So from the bottom you can see with those foundations removed, you can just delete them. They'll go right away. They're not locked. You can see that it's a flat thing on the bottom. And then coming back up here and looking up at the house, how glorious is that ever? I'm going to go into free cam mode so that we can take a look around the outside of the build. And I used different wall textures, and I tried to mix it up, but I tried to stay kind of in a linear That's not the right word. I tried to kind of blend them when I did change them to either having scrappiness. I tried to use vines to blend direct switches. I tried to blend from top to bottom as well, so I used different wood on the bottom that would like kind of go up to the top, or I used different blues on the sides that would go down to like a duller blue. I tried to keep it kind of like it is patchwork quilty because I want it to look scrappy and stuff. But there is a little bit of matchy to it. So I tried to keep it blended as well as being quilty. So you gotta try to find that balance in there, which can be a little tricky. And just mess around with it, enjoy it. It's fun. Up here is, of course, the little person who has been hiding out in the attic up here and trying to write and get away from it all. It's actually pretty cozy, except for the wind that blows in. And it's fine. No one knows he's there. It's going to be okay. But I love how this roof looks, and I think it looks really good. In fact, maybe you can see the ESO inspirations in it because of the design of it. But it has like a lot of Curio shit, and we've got some weird plants outside. We've got weird stuff happening in front of it, and we have a kind of a workspace over here. This is like stuff that can be out in the rain, I reckon, if it gets a little misty. Now let's head on inside the shop and see what's for sale. You never know. It could be all kinds of things. Let's see. There's piles of supplies down here. Maybe stuff that I haven't unboxed yet to put on the shelves. And, an alien, magazines of glory. In here, of course, is a fish in a stove. That's a mythical item that you can get. It's pretty good. I actually got this idea from Nux Black Thumb, and I'll link the video where I saw that in the description. It's actually a really cool build that he built in Adventure. So many merges and stuff. It's incredible. Go check it out. But here are these chalices, which I got from doing an expedition or something. But you can also put lead champagne or something in there, and they look exactly the same if you don't want to go into the expeditions ever, because you don't have a sense of adventure, and because also, or you realize it's just a big daily op and you never liked daily ops to begin with, which is fair enough since they're, I don't remember if the right word is dog shit. That was really delayed. I apologize, because now you heard a fucking swear word. But now we're selling, pieces of meat and stealth boys and clappers and meat that doesn't go bad because it started off that way. And over here, you can't get through, and so just jump over it. It could have, the egress is a problem, I'll be honest. And typewriter, sometimes when I'm cold and sad at night, I like to pretend that the junk video that I made is responsible for them putting the typewriter and the toaster and the fan in the scoreboard, but I think that's just a dream I have, and they probably haven't seen my videos because I haven't received any cease and desist orders so far. I locked up for the night so we can head upstairs to our little, this is just a nice little shop over here. And I want to make sure this weapons is, you can work at it. Good. I didn't actually check it up until this moment, so that was a risk. But, really nice view. You can work on stuff. There's supplies out here. And so this is, brewing, so I can make my blood is in it, which is a really nice drink to eat. And now we can go upstairs, finally, to our little house on whence we live. That was incorrect. Don't worry about those words. I have some other ones I'll use later. Inside, I tried to keep it a little less cluttered than downstairs, because downstairs is kind of overwhelmingly cluttered, which is the idea. I wanted it to look like really stimulating and lots of stuff. Let's close the door so it's not a draft. And up here, I wanted it to look cluttered enough to be lived in, but I also wanted to kind of give your eyes a break a little bit, have some more space to kind of relax, expand your breath, and I don't really know, to be honest. But we have a little shelf here, and junk things to read. Very, very basic kitchen. Kitchens are not my strength, I'll be honest. And so I kept it simple. I don't want to get into it any more than that. It doesn't have anything to do with trauma, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore. So thanks for prying into my personal life. I really appreciate that. Can we get back to the video now? Thank you. So we obviously have the wall that we're looking at. That's really cool. And over here, the dining area. I love how this is framed so well against that shack window. And you can see Nuka World on tour right there. Over here, speaking of which, we have Bottles, a man spreading on the couch watching his favorite cartoon, Winterland, or the Blizzard of 76, or whatever that is. I don't really know. And then over in this corner, I thought there should be a place where we can work on the stuff that's going to be going in the Curio's shop that won't be like tools that you would leave outside in the rain, like, you know, your sewing instruments or like glues and in fine detailed materials and stuff like that. So there's like a little workshop here that's different from the one downstairs. And then we can also like make stuff for the shop, like this outfit, the clown outfit, which we can, you know, sell in the shop later and say that we got it. And it's, you know, a rare item, even though we just made it ourselves, because we're cheating and stealing people's money and selling them a product that we didn't make, and we just, like, we took something else and just, you know, made money off that. You know, it's just a fun thing to do. So in here, we have so much stuff that it's just, well, that's enough. Let's get out of here. I wanted to keep it cozy, but not too cluttered. Now, these lights that I have up here are nice, and one thing that Vapid Valentine taught me is that sometimes you can just have some of them on and not others. And it looks like some of the bulbs are blown out or whatever, and it also doesn't overwhelm you with light. She's really good with lighting, and I've learned a lot of that type of thing from her. So we're just looking at it for 3 hours, and thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. And thank you to my channel members and Patreons for your support. It really means a lot to me. And if you're interested in joining, I do upload bonus content to my Patreon. And also, I want to say that there's a Discord, like I mentioned before, which you can join. And that's for free. You don't have to pay me money for that. That's just, well, anyway. I just also want to say that I stream, again, I want to say that I stream on Twitch because I don't really think that I say that enough, and I said it 40 times, and I think 42 is the answer. And so, thanks for watching. And that was really good. I guess I'll see you in the next video.